Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Banter in the Box, episode 68. A lovely use of TGs. What a week game week 25 was. This is shaping up to be one of the most exciting seasons in family fantasy football league history. Great drama on the pitch, loads of stuff going on off the pitch. Di Maloney, no happy ending. She just won't give it up. In her second season in the Family Fantasy Football League and in her debut season, she finished just above the relegation zone. But she's gone back to the top of the Family Fantasy Football League table for the third time this season, taking a 1 point lead over second placed Hatch United. It really is looking like it's going to be very close. Let's hope it stays that way to the end of the season. Two managers going into the transfer market this week, and one of them playing a masterstroke with the tactical gambits, no doubt inspired by great Uncle George Moody, Clockhouse Rangers manager last week. Played a blinder with a doubling up of the Oi Is Mine tactical gambit alongside the Benefit Fraudster tactical gambit, which catapulted George up into the top half of the table and was enough to secure him the Manager of the Month award for February. Though I do think that great Uncle George Moody was probably helped by his assistant manager, great Auntie Jill Moody. But inspired by that, one of our managers went into the transfer market this week with multiple transfers, multiple tactical gambits. I'll share more on that later. In this week's edition of Banter in the Box, we've got your game week 25 winners and game week 25 losers. Let's hope they don't cause as much controversy as last week's game week losers. I've got a quote of the week and it's controversial but incredibly funny. I'm going to preview the FFFL Cup quarterfinals. The FFFL Cup rounds are like London buses. You wait months and months for an FFFL Cup round, and then two come round in very short space of time. Only a couple of weeks after we had the second round of the Family Fantasy Football League. This weekend is the first full Premier League fixture weekend in March, so it is the FFL Cup quarterfinals. I'll be giving you my predictions. I had a 75% success rate in the second round. I got 6 out of my 8 guesses correct. Let's see if I can better that with a clean sweep in the quarterfinals. And I'll be giving you that all-important manager of the season update. And when you see what last year's manager of the season has done, it may inspire you to get involved and try and pick up those manager of the season points. So, without further ado, here are your game week 25 winners. Take a bow. No fucking chance FC manager Angela Addis. She scored a personal highest weekly total of 76 points. Very impressive. Climbed one place to 27th in the table. You have to go back to game week 7 for the last time Angela was as high as 27th in the Family Fantasy Football League. Take a bow also for the second week running Benny United manager Mark Benwell. He climbed one place up to 5th in the Family Fantasy Football League. Mark hasn't been as high as 5th since way back in game week 10. And take a bow, Lyndon's Lovelie's manager Joe Hoxby. Now, Joe was last year's manager of the season and so won £15 million of free tactical gambits, which is the same prize that will be awarded to this year's manager of the season. Now, up till now, Joe has kept those £15 million of free tactical gambits in her back pocket, and despite spending the entire season in the bottom half of the table. And the fact that she spent the bottom half the entire season in the bottom half of the table meant that she's consistently picked up those £5 million transfer bonuses that are awarded to people who are in the bottom half of the table at end of each month. So when she got to the end of March, her available transfer budget was £115 million. There are others in that boat. And she hadn't yet made a transfer. So her team still added up to I think it was 79 million because the budget at the start of the season, was 80 million. So £115 million transfer budget plus £15 million on top of that could be used for tactical gambits. Jo finally got her head in the game. Jo spent £10 million of her £15 million free tactical gambits on a benefit fraudster, which allowed her to transfer in a player and get the points he's already scored. She used the remaining £5 million from the £15 million that she won for being manager of the season to couple that with an Oi is mine, which allowed her to transfer in a player that somebody else has got, which is the pairing that George used last week. So she did that with the £15 million that she won for being the manager of the season last season. But because she had so much budget, she used £5 million to purchase a wildcard tactical gambit, which allows you to make multiple transfers in a single week. And then she spent another £10 million on a benefit fraudster and coupled that spending £5 million of her available budget on an Oi is mine to bring in another player that somebody else has already got and get the points that player had scored up to date. Just for good measure, having played the wildcard tactical gambit, she threw in another transfer as well. And then she became the first manager ever to spend £2 million on a Tommy Turncoat tactical gambit, which allowed her to change her nominated club so that all of those transfers she did were still valid. That all meant that Jo catapulted herself up from the just above the relegation zone up into 19th, I think, or 18th, something like that, 19th in the table, netting her an increase of over 300 points, which puts her in very firmly in pole position to be the manager of the month for March, even though there's a long way to go. And all of that makes Jo a game week 25 winner. And the final game week 25 winner, well, I mentioned her earlier, but take a bow. No happy endings manager Di Maloney climbed back to the top of the table with a fourth weekly win of the season, 87 points. And that also means that Di is currently joint top in the race for the most weekly wins and the £10 prize money that goes with that. Funnily enough, Di is top on 4 weekly wins with Sarah Simon's Poppy's Players. Sarah's also had 4 weekly wins, even though she's in the bottom half of the table. So they are your game week 25 winners. Your game week 25 losers, hide your head in shame. Greece Lightning's Alexi Lagos. He was a game week 24 winner, but he's a game week 25 loser. He was the biggest fallers this week, down 3 places to 8th. It seems less and less likely every week that Alexi is going to be retaining his Family Fantasy Football League champion title. To hide your head in shame is also the Big Knobs manager Simon Hawkesby. Bruv, down another place to 23rd. You have to go back to the opening week of the season for the last time Simon was as low as 23rd in the table. Hide your head in shame also Finger in Hoe Rangers manager Ryan Perrin. It's been a bad week for Ryan. He found out this week that he's got COVID. Side note, I asked him if he had any symptoms and he said just an evil girlfriend. But he dropped a place this week down to 24th, and that's 24th. You have to go back to the 15th of April for the last time Finger in Hoe Rangers was as low as 24th in the table. But the biggest loser of game week 25, hide your head in shame, AFC Razor manager Ray Poulter. The lowest scorers in game week 25, just 4 points. Ray is rooted to the bottom of the table, and unless he decides to get his head in the game and make some transfers, he's gonna be the wooden spoon winner this year. He only finished second from bottom last year in his debut season. Ray's been top. Sorry, he wishes. Ray's been bottom for 23 consecutive weeks now. And he's actually been bottom of the table for 24 of the 25 weeks this season. They are your game week 25 losers. Now, you may remember last week that I talked about the game week 24 losers, as I do every week. And I said that all of the game week 24 losers were girls, because the game week 24 losers last week was I've Got a Life's Mop Hoxby, Poppy's Players Sarah Simons, the Appley's United's Marie Appley, and the Mad Hatter. See, all girls. What's wrong with that? Well, I had a message this week from Greece Lightning manager Alexi Lagos, pictured there on the left with the Mad Hatter. And Alexi contacted me to say, "Hi Jeff, great content in Banter in the Box as always. I thought I'd give you a heads up that it caused some offence and there are rumours going around that you should be taken off air, eh? As you are aware, the Mad Hatter is non-binary." I had forgotten actually, but yeah, I do remember that. "So he did not appreciate it when you said that all the losers in game week 24 were girls." Political correctness gone mad, honestly. Now, with the cancel culture, with the cancel culture the way it is, I was thinking maybe we can use his complaint to kick the Mad Hatter out of the FFFFL before he does some real damage. Just a thought. Now, Alexi, I know you're struggling this season and the Mad Hatter is only just above you in the table again this week, but it's going a bit far asking him to get kicked out of the league. But I will take it under consideration. And that, by the way, Alexi, does earn you a Manager of the Season point for having the quote of the week, which only cancels out the Manager of the Season point you lost earlier for being a game week 25 loser. So, you know, net zero. Now, this week, as I mentioned earlier, this weekend, as long as all the Premier League games go ahead, no reason why they shouldn't, it will be the first full Premier League fixture weekend in March, and that means it's FFFL Cup quarter-final time, and these are your quarter-finalists. And there are some family affairs, there's practically brothers going head-to-head, and Finger in Hoe Rangers taking on Nicolas Anelka, which is an interesting tie because Ryan's got a bit of a crush on Nicolas. So I'm going to give you my predictions for this week. Yours truly, Chairman's Choice, taking on Gobi Desert Canoe Club. I'm going to be fair about this. I'm going to be impartial. Not easy for me to say this, but Pops is having a great season, and I think I'm going to lose that. If I get through that, it will be fantastic. But I am going to predict that Pops is going to beat me in that one. The second tie, Greece Lightning. Good week last week, bad week this week. He's inconsistent. He's taking on Juan Veron FC. 8th against 10th. I think Juan Veron is going to win this quite comfortably. His form is consistent. I think Greece Lightning, I thought Greece Lightning would get knocked out in the last round. I think he's definitely going down this weekend. Finger in Hoe Rangers, struggling in the bottom half of the table, just above the relegation zone, taking on Nicolas Anelka, who's firmly rooted in that relegation zone, third from bottom. These two will be delighted just to have reached the quarter-final stages. The fact that one of them will be in the semi-finals is fantastic. I think it's going to be really close. But I predicted that Nicolas Anelka would upset Megan Hoxley-Chamberlain in the last round, and I think Nicola's going to do it again and just pip Finger in Hoe Rangers in this one to book her place in the semi-finals. And the tie of the round, third placed Arden Diamonds, the number one rated manager in the Family Fantasy Football League, although his record in the FFL Cup isn't great, taking on Hatch United, second in the table, having just lost top spot to no happy endings. I think this is going to be close, but I'm predicting Hatch United just to edge this one. And if I get all those predictions right, it will mean a semi-final draw of Gobi Desert Canoe Club against debut manager Juan Veron FC, and surprise package in the cup at least, Nicolas Anelka against Hatch United, going for that League and Cup double. And still not impossible for Hatch to get the treble if he wins the Manager of the Season as well. So that is your FFFL Cup quarter-final preview. Now, who the fuck is that? It's been running for 2 weeks. So this week it was worth 4 Manager of the Season points. 2 current Family Fantasy Football League managers pictured there. To get those 4 points, you had to name both managers correctly. 2 managers going in this week with guesses. As always, every week, he never lets me down. Benny United manager Mark Benwell thought that was a picture of Megan Hoxley, Chamberlain manager Megan Hoxby, and Greece Lightning manager Alexi Lagos. And Megan Hoxley Chamberlain joined the party this week, currently leading the Manager of the Season table. She thought that was a picture of Chairman's Choice, yours truly, and Gobi Desert Canoe Club manager Pops Hoxby. I can tell you both that neither of those guesses were correct. So we're rolling it over again, and it's going to be worth 6 Manager of the Season points. So the Manager of the Season table looks like this. Simon Hoxby dropped down to joint 8th for being a game week 25 loser. Di Maloney climbed to joint 5th for being a game week 25 winner. Mark Benwell has gone clear 2nd for being a game week 25 winner. But it's still Megan Hoxley Chamberlain out in front, 9 points clear at the top of the Manager of the Season table. Remember, the Manager of the Season wins £15 million of free tactical gambits to use next season. So, who the fuck is that? 6 points if you can tell me which 2 current Family Fantasy Football League managers are pictured there. Remember, each manager only gets 1 guess per week. So that is it for episode 58 of Banter in the Box. Interesting message from Luck Where's the K Williams, one Veron FC manager Luck Where's the K Williams this week, to say that he's really looking forward to 69. 69 is his favourite. And I thought, well, how does he know that it's his favourite? I haven't yet recorded 69 of Banter in the Box. But well, there you go. I'm glad he's looking forward to it. That's it for this week, guys. Take care as always. I will see you next Friday. Bye-bye.